Welcome to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence. I'm Kevin Lawrence in studio with my father, Dr. Gary Lawrence, and we are a father-son team dedicated to helping you create your new financial future today. Dr. G and I believe there is a solution to your financial situation. And on the show, we talk about creating wealth with powerful principles and practical application for today's world. You can find the show on iTunes. Just follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or go direct to our website, wealthempowers.com. And as you listen today, we hope you'll be entertained, educated, and encouraged. So glad to have you riding along with us. Now, maybe you've had the idea to start your own business, or maybe you had the idea to start investing in real estate. Yet you may have come up with some reasons in your own mind as to why there are too many obstacles that are in your way. Well, wouldn't you say those obstacles are really excuses? You know, Dad, the truth is we as people, not just you and me, but we as people are masters at finding excuses to keep ourselves from taking action and moving forward.
One thing the world is not short on, and that's excuses. Okay? And I heard no definition of the word excuse. Mm-hmm. And excuse is nothing more than a lie wrapped up in the skin of a reason.
Yeah.
Okay?
It makes sense. I mean, the reason, it's so reasonable, but really they're excuses. Yeah.
Well, people have a reason for why they're always broke. Okay? People have a reason for why they live paycheck to paycheck. People have a reason why they, at the end of each month, there's no money left. Mm-hmm. It just seems like it's easier to excuse your negative situation than it is to focus on putting the energy into creating a positive situation.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why people are, quote, stuck in their job. Well, you just don't understand. I'm stuck where I'm at. Okay.
Well, and Kevin, as you open up our program, you always say we're a father and son team dedicated to helping you create a new financial future. And so I'm going to encourage our listeners. We have a special guest live in the studio with us. And as I bring her on, I'm going to encourage our listeners, put away your excuses and listen to what our guest has to say, because she's a perfect example of how someone can say, you know what, I'm tired of these circumstances. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to create a new situation. And she is changing her financial platform.
No doubt.
She's taking control and ownership of her financial future.
Absolutely.
And that's why you and I are on the air. And I want to bring on Keely Austin live in the studio, who had a former career in the banking industry. She's all of 30 years old. She's an entrepreneur, a real estate investor. And Keely, it's a joy to have you live in the studio with us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
And you've been on quite a journey in the last 2 years, haven't you?
I sure have. It's been awesome.
Can you walk us back where you were when you were introduced to Renatus? I think a friend of yours had been involved in Renatus. And by the way, I need to tell our audience, what is Renatus? Well, it's a Latin term for rebirth. And Renatus is the premier real estate investing education service in America. But you had a friend up in Utah that had been involved in Renatus, and I'll be quiet and I'll let you tell the story.
So, I've been involved with Renatus for about 2.5 years now, and the reason that I found out about it was through a good friend of mine, like you said, and I've known him for about 11 years, and he and I were both working in the auto industry. We were working at Jiffy Lube, and he was also working a second job at Sears Auto, and he just wasn't happy with his situation. He went to school and got a degree and was still fighting to make ends meet. So once he found Renatus, he was able to quit his job within 9 months because of a short sale that he completed. And I saw that he was really successful with this, and it took me several years to actually want to ask him a question about it. But when I finally did, I was so happy that I did.
Well, now, how old was he when he did his first fix and flip deal?
I want to say he was around 23.
Yeah,
23 years old.
And he earned enough on that short sale and profit that equaled his 1 year income, didn't he?
Right.
Oh, it was a short sale. Mm-hmm. So now the bottom line is he was a grease monkey at Jiffy Lube, right?
Right.
Now, easy how you say that, Dad, because Keely, lovely, sweet Keely, was also a grease monkey. Most people don't know that about her.
I just put that together a couple months ago. You don't look like a grease monkey type.
Well, thank you.
No, not at all.
So,
but you were in the pits changing oil at Jiffy Lube, right?
Well, how did you feel when Michael quit his job? He did that first short sale because of the Renatus education. How did you feel about that?
I guess, I don't know. I think I was intimidated because at that time, that's not when I was interested in getting started. It took years after that for me to finally wonder what he was up to. So,
Yeah.
But since then, you moved from Salt Lake City, Utah, down to Arizona several
Right.
years ago, Keely, and then you started with the banking industry. Okay, so tell us about that transition from auto mechanic to banking.
well, I had been taking my paychecks to U.S. Bank from Jiffy Lube, and the manager at U.S. Bank noticed me coming in every other week with my checks in my little Jiffy Lube uniform, and she asked me if I was looking for maybe another opportunity, and I thought, sure, banking sounds like a really good industry to get into. So that's where it started, was in Salt Lake City at a large corporate bank. And so then when I moved here to Arizona 5 years ago, I was transferred to another bank, and I just realized through all of my jobs, not just banking, that I didn't want to work 9 to 5. I didn't want to work for someone else, and I knew that there was something else out there, and I wasn't sure how to start a business. Neither of my parents were business owners, and so that wasn't really something in my scope.
Did you ever see
business
that
ownership.
movie, Dolly Parton, 9 to 5?
No.
Oh, that was a hilarious comedy.
So for all of our listeners, 30 years and under, for all our listeners,
That
40
movie's
years and
probably
older,
35 years old.
you
I'm
might
sorry.
know what Dr. G. So, and for those who don't know, if this is your first time joining us, Dr. G is 74, and at the young age of 64, he started his real estate investing journey. Now here he is at 74, continuing to invest in real estate. And young Keely, we call young Keely with affection. At 30, you started your real estate investing a couple of years ago. So what was it then, as you're in the banking industry and you're watching your friend Michael Huggins, be successful real estate investing with the Renatus education and Renatus community? What was it, Keely, that you finally went, okay, I think that this could help me?
It was Michael's wife who introduced me to the idea of entrepreneurship. I was actually working with an essential oil company that was my first business. And so Vanessa, Michael's wife, invited me to an event in Las Vegas that was an all women's network marketing event. And it was there that I met her entire team of Renatus individuals, a bunch of females who were business owners, and they were all investing in real estate. And I was very, very inspired. And that's when I kind of connected that Vanessa was doing it, Michael was doing it, two very good friends of mine that I've known for a long time. And if I saw all of these women doing it, why couldn't I do it too?
Yeah. So you saw it modeled from other people, and you thought, okay. And so you jumped in, you got involved in the community and the education. And then just recently you completed your first deal, right?
I did.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Do we need to go to break that, or should we come back?
I was going to ask, Keely, what was it about the Renatus education system that really drew your attention, or what would you say it is that deserves the highest praise about the Renatus real estate investing and education system?
That's a challenging question because so many things pop to my head.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest things I would say is the support from the community. It's a local group that's here to support you because it takes time to learn how to invest in real estate.
Right.
And so when you're surrounded by other people doing it, it's just makes it that much easier to see yourself doing it. And then the quality of the education, the fact that you have it for life, all of those things were really big for me.
Well, now, you just did your first deal with one of our team members, and over what period of time? 3-4 months?
The actual fix-up of the property only took 6 weeks, and then it was probably about another month until we were paid.
Wow, about 2.5 months in.
Yeah.
And
So
what was your gross profit on that deal?
43 or just under 43,000.
Wow.
So from the time you got the property under contract, you did the work, listed it, and sold it is about 2.5-3 months.
October 31st to the middle of March. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That is fantastic. And then you profited 43 with you and your partner. Now, not every deal works out that way,
No.
right? But
No.
the potential is amazing.
If the bank called you tomorrow and said, Keely, we want you to come back to work for us, are you going to go back to the bank?
No way.
She's looking at it. She's trying to think of what the right word is to say to that. Hey, you're listening to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence, and Miss Keely Alston is our special guest live in the studio. And ladies and gentlemen, you may be at the place in your life where you're really thinking it's time to make a change. I encourage you, take some time from making a living and learn how to make a life. I'm extending to you my invitation to be my personal guest at our Investor Business Forum this week. It's held on Thursday up in North Scottsdale. And what that's going to do is going to give you an opportunity to be introduced to real estate as it is in Arizona today. You're going to meet other team members, men and women just like yourself, who said, you know what? I need to see what I can do to make a change financially. By the way, I tell everybody, leave your checkbook and credit cards at home. You're not going to buy anything because we're not going to sell you anything. I'm going to give you our phone number. You're going to have to call. And when you do, you're going to get a voice message. So for your sake, leave a message with your name and phone number. And that way I can return the call personally. Are you ready to write down our phone number? Here it is. It's 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645. And all we're going to do is visit for a few minutes on the phone and get acquainted. Or you can go to our website. It's Wealth Empowers. That's wealth, W-E-A-L-T-H, empowers, E-M-P-O-W-E-R-S, wealthempowers.com. Keely Alston is our special guest live in the studio. Keely, you've been part of our team now for what, about a year and a half?
2.5.
Has it been 2.5 years?
Yeah.
No wonder I'm getting older. Okay. But could you speak to the heart of our audience, from your heart to the heart of our audience? If people come to our Business Investor Forum, what do you, from your perspective, what are they going to experience when they walk in the door?
They'll experience the community that I mentioned before, the awesome community that we have and how we come together regularly and we support each other. The meeting is very informative, and so you'll learn a lot about who we are, what we do. And like Dr. Gary said, we're not going to be asking for any orders or anything.
No.
So
No, we don't do that, do we? And we don't put people's arms up behind their backs. As a matter of fact, Kevin, you and I tell folks, look, you're not qualified to be part of our team yet.
Well, not at all. They've got to meet us. We've got to meet them. We got to find out where their heart is and where their head is. You know, what is it they want to create?
Right.
A lot of people think they want to invest in real estate. It sounds good. They see the cable shows, you know, the fix and flip on TV or Flip Atlanta or whatever they watch.
Yeah.
And, you know, people earn 40, 50 grand in 30 minutes and they think, hey, I can do that. But what they're not serious about is changing their mindset and changing their thinking.
Right.
See, Keely, you got serious about it. You went, okay, I'm going to do this. And you got involved in the community and your education while you still had your job. So you didn't quit right away. But you learned how to put together a business plan on what you can reasonably expect. And over time, you left your full-time job, and then now you're full-time real estate investing, right?
right.
Now, I talk a lot about our education in terms of you're learning real estate investing. You're learning to be an investor. So it's not just flipping a house. So talk about what else have you learned from a business standpoint as you begin to develop your own business around real estate investing?
Like you mentioned mindset, and that has been one of the biggest things that I've had to work on and kind of overcome. And I believe that, you know, changing your mindset kind of is a lifetime thing. But when you get involved with our community, you'll see how people are just so positive and real. And it's just really important to be able to just have a mindset of abundance. And
you said earlier, your parents, they didn't know business. I mean,
Right.
most of us grow up where our parents, and thank God, but they work hard, they fight the traffic, they work for a company, bring home the bacon, feed the kids, make sure a roof over the head, and that's all fine and well. But when somebody begins to think, hey, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my own business, or I'm going to venture out there, if we don't have good modeling around us, it's very difficult for us to take that step, right? Did you find that type of modeling within the Renatus community?
absolutely. And not to mention, we have a couple of classes on business itself. And so that was really, really important for me to go from a mindset of working 9 to 5 since I was 16 years old to now running my own business and having to really manage my own time. And so just being surrounded by other people who are in the same boat is extremely helpful and beneficial.
Yeah, because you're sitting there at our jobs. We're not taught about business at our jobs. You think about it. You worked for a large banking company, right? So you would think that if I'm in the banking industry, I'll learn about business and banking. And you didn't learn that, did you?
No, not really. No.
Yeah, I was going to say, you worked in the banking industry. Did anybody ever introduce you to velocity banking?
No, definitely not. I definitely knew about all the banking products, but when I saw velocity banking, it hit me that much harder because of my understanding behind those products. But I never, ever thought to use them the way that we're taught here in Renatus.
It's amazing what the industries do not teach about the industries.
Right.
Okay.
It really is.
For an example, I mean, you were in the insurance industry for 6.5 years.
Mm-hmm, I was, yeah.
And not 1 year did your CPA tell you that you could claim your children for a $6,000 a year tax deduction.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's changed now. It's $12,000 a year.
Right.
CPAs, tax advisors, financial, they don't have, I don't know if they don't have it, they don't tell it, it's not important to them, I don't know, but it's just not well known. So, and here's what I'm really driving at, Keely. So you leave the banking industry, you start down the road and creating your own business in real estate investing. So now you get into your deal, you create a $43,000 profit with your partner, your real estate investing partner in the deal. Now you have this money come to you, right? Did you put it in your personal bank account and then go to Vegas and spend it?
No.
So how do you know what to do with the money?
Well, I learned through our business classes. We have a class called Tax and Legal and 2 full days of it. And that taught me how to open up a business. I have an LLC and I thought of a fun name. It's just cool how fun and creative you can get with your own business. So I have an LLC and that's where all my income goes.
Okay. So now you've got this money, it goes in, and instead of paying personal income tax on the profit of your real estate investment, now you get to pay business tax. In other words, you have over 400 deductions you get to take advantage of, right?
Right. I'm learning just how every day I can turn all my expenses or most of my expenses into a business expense, and then that way I'm in control of how much taxes I'm paying.
Yeah, and when you're collecting a paycheck, who controls your taxes? Uncle Sam.
Right.
Oh, yeah. If you're a W-2 employee, the sad truth is you're in the highest tax bracket in America.
Mm-hmm.
As a W-2 employee, you have, 6 or 7, maybe 8 tax deductions. But as a real estate investor, you have over 400 deductions.
Yeah.
And once in a while, because, every deal I've done, Keely, I've done with none of my own money, none of my own credit. And it's amazing how many people look at me like I've got snakes in my hair. Is that legal? Can you do that legally?
Right.
And as a matter of fact, we're developing some raw land out in Mesa, and went into my CPA to set up record keeping on those projects. And he said, "You've got 2 investors?" I said, "Yeah, I do." He says, "Is that legal?" And I just looked down and thought,
Wow.
Wait a minute, this guy's been doing my books for 14 years, and he has to ask that question, is this legal? Of course it's legal. Who writes the laws in this country? Congress. How many congressmen and women own property? All of them.
All of them.
So that's a good point. So Keely, in this deal that you've done, here you are young, 28, 29 years old. You've just recently turned 30, and you've been learning about real estate investing and so on. And you worked in the banking industry. Were you independently wealthy? Did you just buy this house, scratch a check for your first deal? How did you get the money for it?
I think that's what keeps a lot of people from even thinking about being a real estate investor, is they think that it takes a bunch of money to get into a property. And I, through our community and education, learned how to finance a deal without using any of my own money or credit. So I bought this house with no money, no credit of my own, and then came out with that amazing profit. So
I got
wonderful.
one question to ask you, Keely. Was it legal?
It was very legal.
Well, and you think your return on investment, your ROI on that deal with none of your own money in it, it's an infinite return.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because you didn't have any money in it. And if
Right.
you can do it once, you can do it again, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Wow, that's fantastic. I'm excited about that. And now that you're on that road, you share this with other people, you become an important part of our team and our investor community. Is it different than how corporate America feels? You were in
Absolutely.
corporate America. Just take a minute and share what the differences that you see.
People are just happier. I feel like everyone's just happier to see each other. Even on Saturday, I had a friend guest at our property tour, and she noticed, the first thing she noticed was, everyone here is so happy. Everyone's just happy to see each other, and it's not like you're working. It's just doing what you want to do.
Yeah. There's no competition. There's enough real estate to go around. And we are genuinely excited for your success, right? Dad, we don't get all upset and bummed out because, well, that wasn't my deal.
Oh, no,
there's
not at all. No.
it's not fair. Look, there's enough to go around. And in the corporate world, often there's a lot of secrecy and a lot of quiet, and there's things you don't talk about. Different environment, isn't it?
And that's what I love about Renata's. From Bob Snyder, our CEO and founder, down to every one of our 29 instructors, I've not met one instructor, one company leader that has a attitude of pridefulness or haughtiness. They all demonstrate a genuine spirit, an attitude of gratitude. What can I do to serve you? Have you found that to be true?
Absolutely. I've had the privilege of meeting several of our instructors and a lot of people within the community across the nation, and everyone does have that awesome attitude.
You're listening to Wealth Empowers with Dr. G and Kevin Lawrence, and we are a father and son team dedicated to helping you change your financial future. And Keely Alston, one of our team members, is live in the studio, and she's changing her life at the young age of 30. I'm just so excited for you, Keely, that you were introduced to this so young. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite you to be my personal guest at the Investor Business Forum this week. It's an hour-and-a-half event. You're going to learn about real estate investing as it is in Arizona today. You're going to learn about Renata's, the premier real estate investing education service in America. You're going to be given some down-to-earth practical examples of how you, too, can create a new financial future. If you'd like to be my guest, you're going to have to call me, and I'll give you our phone number. But I want you to know when you call, you will get a voice message. So for your sake, leave a message for me with your name and phone number, and I'll get back to you personally. Here's our phone number. Write it down. It's 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645. Or, hey, visit Kevin and I at our website, Wealth Empowers. That's Wealth, W-E-A-L-T-H, Empowers, E-M-P-O-W-E-R-S, wealthempowers.com. Well, Keely, we just have a couple of minutes left. What would you like to say to our audience about coming to the place where they're really going to take some time and investigate the possibilities?
One of the biggest things that has helped me through this journey of the last couple of years is the personal development that I've gained from the group. And I just didn't realize how closed-minded I was, and I feel like a lot of people are in that limited mindset. And so it's just so important to explore and always grow, always expand, and be the best you that you can be. And you really do get that from being in our community. You learn a lot about yourself.
I didn't know you were close-minded. You sure kept that from me. I heard an old saying about Renata's, that Renata's is really a personal development course brilliantly disguised as real estate investing education service.
Exactly.
The bottom line is people change their lives mentally and emotionally as well as financially. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Kevin, do you have any last words to say to our audience?
You know, Keely, I'm just excited you're on the team. I've been excited to watch your success moving forward, and you're a great example of someone who's made themselves a priority, taken calculated risks, but calculated, and have had success. How have your parents responded to this? Just real quick, how's your family, your parents out of state? They excited for you?
I was a little nervous to tell my mom and dad about this big leap I had taken to become a real estate investor. And when I told them, they were just so supportive and so proud. And now that I've gotten to where I am now, they're very, very excited for me.
Well, that's exciting. Their little girl
is
now, I'm 75 years old, but I can just imagine the joy, the pridefulness that they felt for you. And that's just so wonderful, Keely.
Thank
that
you.
you have that kind of support.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be considering a change in your life. Well, I say it like this: change when left to chance gives birth to conflict. And if you don't change, things will never change. And I'll guarantee you this, the only thing that will change is the fact that things, the only thing that won't change is the fact that things will change, okay? So anyway, I encourage you, stop being a circumstantial creator. Stop waiting for all your circumstances to become perfect before you make the change. Start being an intentional creator. Start living life on purpose. Success has never been a destination. It's nothing more than a journey. So I'm asking you this question: are you enjoying the journey? Success has never been final, but failure has never been fatal. And investment in knowledge will pay you the best return on your investment. You have the ability to succeed. but you've got to do it one step at a time. Give me a call. I'm Dr. G. Have a great day.
It's been said, the best way to predict your future is to create it. No matter your circumstances, there is a solution to your situation. Dr. G and Kevin invite you to explore the possibilities of creating a new financial platform that you control and no longer allow yourself to be controlled by the circumstances of your life. Visit them at wealthempowers.com. That's WealthEmpowers.com. Come and meet Dr. G and Kevin at the Investor Business Forum. Oh, one last thought. Isn't it time for you to stop making a living and start making a life? Call Dr. G and Kevin at 602-730-5645. That's 602-730-5645.